Cowboys Pregame Live is brought to you by AT&T. Connecting changes everything. And by SWBC Mortgage. Customized solutions to help you meet your personal and business goals. Visit SWBC.com.
Charlotte, North Carolina, hosting Week 6 of the NFL season as the Dallas Cowboys enter at 2-2-1. They take on the Carolina Panthers from Bank of America Stadium, where normally Cowboys fans are very plentiful on the road. Dak Prescott and company ready to buckle their chin straps and get ready for this matchup. It's an NFC clash in their third straight season facing the Carolina Panthers. They have not lost to Carolina since 2018. Welcome in to Pregame Live, presented by WinStar World Casino and Resort. We are here from the Globe Life Studios at the Star in Frisco with Isaiah Stanback, Barry Church, Nate Newton. I'm Kyle Yeoman, soon to be joined by Nicole Hutchison and Nick Eatman out there on the sidelines in Charlotte. Gentlemen, it's going to be an interesting matchup. The Cowboys got the win last week against the Jets team. A hungry Jets team, now they got a hungry Panthers team they're going to go up against in this matchup. The Cowboys on offense have been incredible to start the season. Through 5 games, they lead the NFL in total yardage. I want you guys to give me a one-word answer. We got some whiteboards to work with today. One word, how you would describe the Cowboys' output to start the first 5 games of the season. We'll start with you, Isaiah.
All right, my one word is going to be magic.
Ooh.
These guys have been magical because the reason why is because their offense has had to do a lot of things with a little. They went all the way down to their second and third people on the depth chart on the offensive line. Their offense has been all kinds of magical up front, making run plays look like pass plays look like run plays, keeping everybody off kilter. And these guys are being highly successful on the ground game and the pass game, making Dak one of the best once again in the league.
Without a doubt, that was magical. And for me, I chose the word consistent.
Ooh.
All right, because it doesn't matter. All 3 levels of this offense, the offensive line, no matter who's in the lineup for the offensive line, they've played consistently. You look at Dak Prescott, he's done an amazing job so far this season, taking care of the football and spreading the football all around. And then when you talk about the running back position, Javonte Williams, I mean, what else is there to say about this guy? He's running through defenses left and right consistently, I might add. So to me, that word's got to be consistent.
Javonte Williams, juggernaut. That is my word. Understand, this offense can't be stopped. Once Dak getting rolling after them first couple of series, they just keep moving. I tell you what, boy, Javonte, keep doing your thing.
Let's keep talking about it through some of these injuries as well, because in order to stay consistent, they need some guys to step into some roles, and we've seen a couple of those guys come back this week. Tyler Smith, limited in practice. He is not inactive. He is good to go for the Cowboys today. Tyler Guyton, same thing. Out of concussion protocol, was limited throughout the week. However, Tyler Booker and Kevontae Turpin, along with CeeDee Lamb, they are all ineligible to play. They are on the inactive list, which we'll take a look at later in the show. So having those guys back, Tyler Booker, Tyler Smith on the offensive line, what word are we going with in that case, Isaiah?
Oh, I got to go ahead and come with the violence, y'all. I'm coming with the violence. And y'all see the little Afro man right there in the corner. They both got the little poops on their head. But the violence is back. When you got those 2 fellas playing next to each other, they're going to be throwing people out the clubs. Whatever jersey, that color that the opposing team wants to wear, that is what's not going to be allowed in the club. Those 2 fellas like the physicality. The ground game should become that much better.
Okay, Barry.
Well, for me, when you're adding 2 studs like that on the offensive line, all right, and I didn't know we were doing pictures here. So I'm adding horsepower.
Can you hold that
there.
up for the one shot,
if
please?
you can see this amazing drawing that I had right there, if you can see that.
Is that, what is that?
That is a horse, and then a lot of horsepower, all right? And that's what we're adding to the offensive line here. You already got a nice little vehicle going on there, nice little 4-speed, but you're adding that V8 supercharge to it, and that's what the 2 people that we're talking about to this offensive line, you're adding horsepower. Great drawing, by the way. You see that? Yeah, you see.
He needs to add some feed to this doggone horse.
He's skinny, all right?
Yeah,
he's coming together.
yeah.
He's coming together.
You need to get him something scrumptious to eat.
There-
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what
There
it
it
is.
is. There
What you
it
got? What you got, Nate?
Man, I've always been criticized about my lack of writing ability, but Outstanding, outstanding, outstanding. That's what this offensive line.
I love that.
Based on these guys coming back, y'all gonna leave me alone.
You guys are listening. You might be wondering why we have the whiteboards in the first place. This is why. We're playing with the theme of what the Cowboys did on social media this week, and it was kind of an opportunity to take a look at the drawing skills. We've already seen Barry Church's drawing skills. This was throughout the week in training camp, or excuse me, in locker room. They were asked to draw the state of Texas, and let's just say it did not go very well. They even matched it up with the map. These guys just did not piece it together. Guys, I need you to do a little bit better. I need you to draw the state of Texas.
I ain't got nothing for you.
From memory, what you got. Isaiah, let's give our first look
Y'all
at
know
it.
I'm from the Northwest, but this is what I got for you guys in terms of Texas right there. I know that's terrible. Hey,
That looks more like a
Dallas-
backwards West Virginia.
Dallas is around here somewhere, I think, if I remember correctly. We around there. Anyways, that's what I got for you guys from this Northwest.
All right, Ohio and Barry Church.
Oh, man. Look, I'm going to go ahead and put this out here for y'all, man.
Wow.
What is this?
Texas drawing that you're going to see right there. But go ahead and put that up there. Look at that. That's amazing.
It looks
Look
like
at that.
Colorado was accepted into the Texas border.
Hey, I'm telling you, man.
Oh,
You know, I thought that was pretty amazing, by the way.
Let's go, Nate Dub.
No,
I lack skills.
What you got?
that's pretty good. No, I'm just kidding.
That's Oklahoma.
That looks like the
That's the Badlands.
Hold on, we
baby.
got hold these three up.
hold on, yeah, hold all three of these up.
Hold on.
Nate looks like
Get on the gym shot. Where we at? There he is.
Oh.
Nate has the track layout of the Arlington Grand Prix that's going to be racing in March.
Oh, my
That's what
goodness.
that is.
Wow, okay.
Yes,
Thank
all
you,
right.
Kyle.
We're
I'll
never
accept
playing
that.
Pictionary.
Never again.
Ever.
Never
That's
again.
Mine was
We've
pretty
got
good.
more Cowboys pregame
mine-
live coming your way after the break. We'll talk to Nick Eatman out on the sidelines at Bank of America Stadium. Cowboys Panthers just getting started. More to come right after this.
How much does trash talk during the week actually matter on game day?
None at all. I mean,
Because you hear about like bulletin board material, but how much does that actually?
yeah, I'm sure it could fire people up, but in my eyes, I try to say we talk about it in the tight end room, the 3 C's: calm, cool, collected. You know, I tend to find myself when I'm listening to like music before a game, I'm like way too all over the place, and so sometimes I have to calm myself down a little bit, listen to some slow stuff, but like, yeah, it is what it is. I'm not writing, pinning stuff up on my board. I'm getting him Sunday. That's not what I'm doing. So
What's the Zen stuff you're listening to calm you down?
crazy. I was listening to Adele. Yeah.
Which one?
Hometown Hero.
Hometown Glory.
Yeah, Hometown Glory. That's what it was. Fire.
Dak got Moody and Blowfish.
No, he listens to weird stuff. He's always singing in the back of the bus. So I sit right by him in the bus. He's always jamming out, and I'm giving him the eye.
This segment is brought to you by Ashley, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
Back here on Cowboys Pregame Live, let's check in on the sidelines at Bank of America Stadium as the Cowboys prepare to take on the Carolina Panthers. Nick Eatman is live on the sideline, and Nick, we just talked about the storylines around the injuries up front for the Cowboys have certainly had their shine in the spotlight. Now you get some of those guys back. How big is it to get some of these guys back in the fold, and who is all back specifically?
Back on the left side there, Tyler Smith and Tyler Guyton. So I do believe Nate Thomas played well, and obviously Adeniji did a good job at guard. But anytime you get a two-time All-Pro back in Tyler Smith, I think that's only going to help the offensive line. Tyler Guyton as well, and you want to get those guys like Nate Thomas more reps, and he will. He'll get some at times, but I think having that continuity back is going to help with the offensive line today.
That continuity certainly helps. The Cowboys and the Panthers, for that matter, have struggled to piece together two significant performances, not even just wins, but performances in a row. What do you feel like the message has been from both of these squads as they go into the matchup today?
Well, I think both teams are going to try to run the football, and that's something that you hear that a lot. Obviously, with Rico on the other side, I mean, certainly they want to establish that, but really they want to do that to help their quarterback. You got to help Bryce Young. He doesn't throw the ball that far down the field. They need to keep them out of third and long situations. Running the football will help with that. I hear some cheers and some boos. It could be any team that's on the field. I think it's the Cowboys now that are on the field. But, it's one of those games where you're going to have it's going to be maybe a 50-50 split here. I think getting out to an early lead is important, and then running the football for both teams is going to be the biggest key.
Nick, when it comes to the weather, you just talked about running the football effectively. Real quickly, I know it's windy. There's a little bit of rain in the forecast. How does that affect things?
Well, it might affect the kicking game a little bit. You can tell one way it might be easier to kick some long field goals as well, and also just hanging on to the football. We've seen turnovers the last couple of times that the Cowboys have played here. They forced turnovers, and so that's something that's got to be. Ball security is the biggest thing. Handling the punts. Turpin's not back, so we'll see. Cropper, Paris Campbell, those guys getting the kickoffs and also the punts today. So special teams and hanging on to the football is going to be the biggest key. And that doesn't matter if you're in a dome stadium or not, but you might have some weather issues today.
Yeah, thank you very much, Nick. We'll check back in with you on the sidelines at Bank of America Stadium later in the show. All right, gentlemen, the defense stepped up big last week. You needed them to have a big game. Barry, I'll start with you. Who are you highlighting going into this matchup against the Panthers?
Going into this matchup, I'm highlighting a guy called Maris Leofau out there. And this is a guy that when he arrives at the football, he arrives with bad intentions. I mean, he's a violent player, a juice player, as we used to call him on the defensive side of the football. You saw last week when he was able to force those punches out there. The more this guy gets involved in the defense, the better they seem to get. The defense kind of gravitates towards him, and he's slowly but surely becoming that chess piece for Matt Eberflus to use along his defensive front and in the second level. I'm sorry.
My guy is number 53, James Houston. Good guy.
That's James Houston.
Yes, sir. He's talking about maybe 15, 16 reps. Great pass rusher. Lead the team right now with 3.5 sacks.
Well, you said 15, 16, Nate. What comes after that? 17. 17 tackles for Shamar James, my guy, number 50. The rookie came off the top rope in his first game and did absolutely nothing but be the juggernaut of the defense by bringing everybody who came in his area down to the ground. I like this young man. He is a big spark for the Dallas defense.
Most tackles by a rookie Cowboys defender since Leighton Vander Esch back in 2018. Those 17 tackles last week from Shamar James. When we come back, this defense, apparently to a former Cowboys running back, has to buckle up going up against the Carolina Panthers. What do they have to decide on, and how are they going to have to play against this Panthers offense?
This segment was brought to you by Ashley, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
The answers before the test, a little bit that you kind of get from that?
Yeah, I mean, it's just another help. It's just another practice session. It's a way I get to call some of these plays, and I've said it before. Right? I think someone was asking me about the wristband earlier last week, and it's one of those that, like I said, I love to call the play and look at people in the eyes when I'm calling the play that you never want to hesitate. And so as many times as I can call these plays throughout the week and just practice that when I say it, I'm sure guys in the huddle take confidence from just the way that I've echoed the play call that allows them to go out there and handle their job with more intention. Yeah, just a little turf burn. No, this was in the game.
To play a team like Carolina, a non-division team, 3 years in a row and on the road, very unusual. A lot of familiarity. Did that help preparation this week, and especially since they got the same DC and everything?
Yeah, most definitely it helps preparation. As you said, seeing them the last 3 years with the same DC as last year. Anytime you've got that, I'm not going to say it's like a division game, but there's a lot of familiarities and just what they're going to do, how they're going to attack, what we think they're going to play us, or maybe a certain look or defense they're going to give us that we struggled with last year. So all that helps. It's definitely different when you're playing a team 3 times on the road and not in the division, but I guess there's worse.
Cowboys pregame live rolling on. That's Rico Dowdle, a familiar face to Cowboys fans. Spent 5 seasons with the team as a running back on the roster and on the practice squad. He had 206 yards rushing last week, one of 5 running backs to have a 200-yard performance over the last 5 seasons. He's back in the starting role for Carolina tonight, and he says the Cowboys have a challenge on their hands.
They got to buckle up. I think they know for sure. I've been there 5 years. They didn't keep me there for 5 years for no reason. I definitely would say that. But we're looking forward to playing those guys next week, and we'll get to it. We'll handle that when I get there.
Ooh, it's a little bit of that salt in the conversation there. A little pumpkin spice. You know how I said scrumptious early? That's a scrumptious little piece of locker room material, bulletin board material there as well. Back with Barry, Nate, and Isaiah. Isaiah, when you hear that from a former player, how much does that change your mindset going into that matchup the week after?
Listen, I played offense, okay, so I didn't have to worry about it. But what I did know as an offensive player, you never, and I mean never, give the opponent, the defensive opponent, bulletin board material. The reason why, because there's guys like Barry Church who are reading those things, and all they want to do is hit you in your mouth. BC, what do you think about when the running back that you played with last year says, you better buckle up?
Man, I'll tell you what, that's disrespect is at an all-time high. When you say things like that to an opposing defense out there. And not only that, he doubled down saying, you know what, they know. Like, they know what I bring to the table. They know when I tell you to buckle up, it's going to be a long afternoon. And defensively, you got to look at it like, man, hold on. You telling me after the game I'm going to be in the ice tub? Like, that, you going to run through my face like that, down in and down out? He does realize they get an opportunity to hit him, right? I mean, this is at an all-time high when you talk about disrespect and bulletin board material. And the man's got to go out there and back it up now.
I'm not going to worry about what a player says, because I've been in that situation, but I had Emmitt Smith. But anyway.
But have you ever played against a former teammate that played on the defensive side of the ball?
Nah, I haven't, man. But I tell you like this right here, we better buckle up for Rico because their offense is predicated on the run game, where most people are 65-45 pass. They 65-45 run. They trying to keep this kid down to a minimum young for his passing the ball. So, Rico, let's see what you got, baby.
That's the big conversation. We'll talk more about that on the internet side of the show because when we come back, Cowboys get some reinforcements on the offensive line, but give credit to Connor Riley. He has helped fill in those holes quite nicely as his first year as the offensive line coach. We go one-on-one with Connor next.
Devontae, this is one of the best rushing offenses in the league, despite having lost 4 starters last week because of injury. Just talk about the fact that you guys can maintain that consistency and produce, and no matter who steps up in front of you.
Yeah, I just feel like it's a testament to the hard work that we put in throughout the week, and the coaches, how good of a job they do just getting everybody ready. And even though we got some players out, everybody's still professional, so even if they are backups, I feel like they should just get in and do what the starters been doing.
How many tickets this week you got to get?
I'll leave that up to my mama. Yeah, I'll leave that up to my mama.
Consider what you've gone through the last couple of years coming off of the injury. Did you ever think you'd be called a bell cow again?
Yeah, nah, it was a time I thought it was going to be over with, but, I mean, I just kept going. The coaches got a lot of trust in me. I like my teammates. I feel like everybody play together. We complement each other well, and just the competition in the running back room, that's what really made me go so hard.
What was that low point for you when you felt like it might be?
Yeah, just getting hurt, and then trying to battle back. I mean, because every time you go on the field, they expect you to produce. But, I mean, it takes time with injury, so I'm just glad I'm back healthy now.
Closed captioning is brought to you by the Texas Lottery. Cowboys scratch tickets from the Texas Lottery are here. Play today.
Let's take a look at the Cowboys' inactive list for their Week 6 matchup against the Carolina Panthers. Of course, CeeDee Lamb, Kevontae Turpin, Tyler Booker all working their way back in from injury. Jack Sanborn suffered an injury last week. He is unavailable again this week, did not practice with the team. Kind of a surprise to see Mozzie Smith back on this list. He was on that list earlier in the campaign, has played the last few weeks, but he finds his way back on the inactive list this week, taking on the Panthers. Cowboys' offensive line has seen a revolving door of players. Connor Riley, in his first year as the offensive line coach, has done a nice job of steadying the ship. He sits down with our very own Nicole Hutchison.
Connor, I mean, you've had to shuffle this offensive line quite a bit this season due to injuries, but you've had a lot of young guys really step in and step up to the plate. What's the secret to maintaining the level of consistency?
It starts with our head football coach, and what he says every single day to us is the standard, regardless of the circumstances that we may face, and been very pleased with how guys have adapted and adjusted and upheld that standard.
Usually chemistry is kind of built in terms of to help that continuity. How have you been able to kind of maintain that cohesion between those guys?
That's probably one of the bigger challenges, is you do look for a cohesiveness within that group. And last week we had a young man start at left guard who was more of a tackle. He practiced at right guard the week before. And it's just with what the expectation is in that room and a mindset of saying, if a man goes down, next man is up. And that's kind of the mentality that they have really bought into.
I went back to listen to your opening presser here, and you kind of laid out the blueprint for you, what you're looking in for an offensive lineman, and you asked the questions, how physical are they? How do they finish? How close is this line to playing like you envisioned?
We're getting closer every single day. We're improving, and to say that we're there right now or to say that we're arrived would be false. We're always going to be chasing perfection, and we know that perfection is really not attainable, but looking to ultimately achieve greatness, achieve excellence on the way. That's where we're beginning to climb. And that's where I've been pleased.
You can catch the entire interview with Nicole Hutchison on DallasCowboys.com. When we come back, George Pickens has made quite the impact in his first season with the Cowboys. How can he continue that today against the Panthers?
To watch more Dallas Cowboys content on your connected TV, download the Cowboys Now app on Amazon Fire, Roku, and Apple TV.
The week prior facing him like this?
Approaching it the same. Like, I'm not going to change the way I approach any week because of who we're facing. It's always the same. The standard is the standard.
Third time you guys have faced Carolina 3 years in a row now. Any familiarity when you go there? I mean, it's a whole bunch of Cowboy fans in Charlotte.
Definitely a little bit familiar. Like, they got a lot of the same guys. So, but the preparation stays the same. You respect every opponent. This is a really good team. Like you said, they're coming off of 200 yards rushing, so you can't sleep on them at all.
Feel like a home game at all because so many fans are there cheering for you, like half the crowd is Cowboys.
Yeah, we definitely travel well, so shout out to Cowboys Nation.
What did the pass rush
we just really been pushing our communication, making sure we're rushing free and making each other right, all on the same page.
How much does that pre-snap discussion help in that area?
I mean, definitely talking a little bit pre-snap, getting the call, making sure our cleats are in the ground, we're communicating, echoing the call, making sure we're all on the same page.
Cowboys Pregame Live was brought to you by AT&T. Connecting changes everything. And by SWBC Mortgage. Customized solutions to help you meet your personal and business goals. Visit SWBC.com.
Final segment of the TV portion of Pregame Live. Did you guys see this photo? How about George Pickens looking at the Javonte Williams run inside the 5-yard line? And he's got that Superman pose. It also made me think of like Stephon Diggs when he was looking at the celebration for the Chiefs after the AFC title game. Similar feel, but a different situation. This time it was a good thing watching from beyond. George Pickens has played like Superman at a couple times throughout the season. 5 receiving touchdowns, including all 4 of his last 4 outings as well. When you look at George Pickens and his impact on this Cowboys offense, what's your favorite part, Isaiah, about what he's done to this point?
Honestly, I just like the fact that he's being one heck of a teammate. You look at it and it's genuine. You have somebody who came in with all these negative connotations that are stated about him, all these perceptions of him, and he's just disregarded all of that, and he's showing you that he is a true teammate. He's able to help the team every single week in, week out.
Yeah, he's truly brought into Schottenheimer when you talk about being an ultimate teammate. But for me, it's more that physical ability. You know, I thought coming from Pittsburgh, this guy was just a 50-50 jump ball guy, kind of a deep threat. But he's shown, especially with the absence of CeeDee Lamb, that he can be a 3-tool receiver. He can do whatever you need to do. Deep ball, intermediate, short and shallow, can take a slant 50 yards. He's just a big play threat all around, and that physical ability has really stood out to me.
You know, he's played within the offense. I mean, you know, we heard these things about what he said or how he acted in Pittsburgh, and this guy hasn't been that. I mean, the season is still yet to be completed, but this guy's, like you two guys said, a complete teammate, and he's running some nice, crisp routes.
Yeah, he certainly has, and without CD in the fold the last 2 games, he's really stepped up. 4 straight games with at least 50 receiving yards and a touchdown. It's the longest active streak in the NFL, and only Terrell Owens and only Des Bryant have had longer streaks in Cowboys history. Isaiah, that shows that he's wide receiver 1 capability, and he's not even needed to be a wide receiver 1 on this current roster.
Yeah, nobody had questions about his ability to be able to carry, his weight in terms of productivity, but everybody had questions about if he's not getting the ball as frequently as he wanted to, was he going to, have a blow up? Was he emotionally stable? I just like the fact that he's shown his maturity and his lack of selfishness and disproving what everybody had thought about him prior to him coming into the Cowboys organization.
And he has been a welcome sight for the Cowboys as they really need him without CeeDee Lamb. Hopefully CeeDee back in the fold next week. He is inactive again this week against the Panthers. We've got more Cowboys Pregame Live coming your way. On the internet side of things, we'll go back out to Bank of America Stadium, hear from Stephen Jones. Nicole Hutchison is going to join the show, plus we'll have a one-on-one interview with Jake Ferguson as well. More to come. Join us on the internet side, DallasCowboys.com, and the streaming platforms. For Barry, Isaiah, Nate, Nick Eatman, I'm Kyle Yeomans saying so long. Back here on Cowboys Pregame Live. Thanks for sticking around with us. We've got about 20 minutes until kickoff, 15 minutes till the end of our show. In Charlotte, North Carolina, the Cowboys getting set to take on the Carolina Panthers in Week 6 of the NFL season with Barry Church, Nate Newton, Isaiah Stanback, I'm Kyle Yeomans. And if this week taught us anything in the NFL, even just with one game in progress, one game in the books, you can't underestimate any team in the NFL. How about the New York Giants taking down the division-leading Philadelphia Eagles 34-17? You happy about that one?
I sure am.
Yeah. But that does beg the question of right now we are a month and change into the NFL season. Here's what the playoff picture or the standings look like across all 8 NFL divisions. There are some leaders there that maybe were kind of out of the blue. How about San Francisco 4-1 without Brock Purdy healthy? Aaron Rodgers leading the Pittsburgh Steelers to a 3-1 start. Indiana Jones, Daniel Jones doing his thing in the AFC South, but he's tied with Trevor Lawrence and the Jags. What is going on in the NFL? We got a lot to talk about here, but I want to start it by saying, guys, when it comes to the leaders in each of these divisions, which leader is going to be knocked off by the end of the year?
Oof, I'm going to go with the Chargers on this one. I mean, they got a lot of injuries on that offensive line. You know, when you look at the team overall, they got a good quarterback in that situation, but that division is tough, man. You're talking about the Chargers, the Denver Broncos. You're talking about the Chiefs, a team that's won that division, 9 straight years right now? I can't see Pat Mahomes and those guys just falling into third place. So for me, it's got to be the Chargers. They're on their way out of there. I believe the Chiefs or the Denver Broncos will catch them.
Now, Nate, you agree with Barry here, right? When it comes to the Chargers?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Switch up. Yes, what I saw this past Monday night,
Thursday night,
it was just ugly. Philadelphia offensive line is in shambles right about now. They got their left guard is hurt. Their left guard is hurt. They don't know what to do with their wide receiver corps right about now. Philadelphia will not be standing tall because here come the Commanders and the Cowboys.
There we go.
You're saying within the own division, things are going to
things are physical. Things are very, very physical.
That's exactly right. They've got a couple tough matchups on the horizon, too. What do you think, Isaiah?
I'm going to take you to the AFC North where the steel curtain is not so steely, okay? The reason why is because of the fact that I think that the Cincinnati Bengals, they're trash right now. The Cleveland Browns, nobody trusts them. But the Baltimore Ravens, the ones that are sitting at 1-4 with their QB down, the running back fumbling, these guys are going to take care of business. The reason why I believe that is because I think they're only going to get stronger, and I think that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to lose their next 3 games as they get ready to face the Packers, as they get ready to face the Colts, as they get ready to face the Chargers. So I think 3 of their next 4 they'll lose, and I think it's going to give Baltimore enough time to get back in the saddle and start flying on them boys again.
It's crazy to look at the bottom of that division and seeing Baltimore there because of the start. And, of course, not having Lamar Jackson plays a fold, but it's not just that. Right now they are having some problems, but at some point you just have a feeling it's going to click and things are going to turn things around. All right, let's go back out to Bank of America Stadium where we are now joined by Tommy Yarish, who catches up with Cowboys COO Stephen Jones.
All right, now joined by Cowboys Executive Vice President and co-owner Stephen Jones. Stephen, thanks for the time. Tyler Smith coming in today. Looks like he needed another workout pregame. What did you see from that made you think he was good to go?
You know, the biggest thing is his mindset. We just wanted to make sure he felt good about what he could do out there. I think, what he doesn't want to do is go out there and then not play well enough, to get his job done. And, he felt great and ready to go. I mean, he's tough. I mean, I'm sure he doesn't feel great, but he's in his mind, he can do his job.
And then speaking on the injury side now, defensively, Trayvon Diggs and Deron Bland questionable coming in. Looks like they'll both play as well. Are you expecting them to be as close to 100% as you can get, or is it still maybe something that is just lingering at this point?
They're just little lingering things, but when you play in the NFL, I think there's everybody in that locker room probably got a little something lingering. But, no, they feel really good about how they're feeling today and expect them to go out and play really well.
And this is a place where you've run the last 2 years, and against the run, last couple of weeks hasn't been as good as it was early in the season. You're going up against a familiar face in Rico Dowdle today. What have you seen from this week in practice and the game plan going into tonight and today, especially against the run and stopping Rico?
Well, you've hit on it. First of all, nothing but respect for Rico. He had a great season last year, especially the last half of it. He really, had some great games. And but you nailed it. We've got to stop the run. We've got to do a better job of it, as you said. we've improved in a lot of areas, but we have been giving up some rushing yards, and I know certainly they'll want to attack us that way today with Rico, and I think Hubbard's going to be out, so we'll get a full dose of Rico, and I know it just brings out, I don't care whether it's someone on our team playing against a team they used to be on, it brings out the best in them, and we certainly expect to get Rico's best shot.
Speaking of your own running back room, with Miles Sanders done for the year, you were talking the other day about how excited you guys are about Jaden Blue. What has he shown you, and what do you think he can do for this offense with Javonte?
Yeah, I think the best thing is I think he'll be a great complement to Javonte. Obviously, Javonte's having one of the best years of any running back in the league in terms of what he's brought to the table with our running game. Has just been outstanding. But I think Jaden's a perfect complement to him. Brings a lot of juice and explosion. And we just got to get him out there in space and let him do his thing because, boy, when he hits the gas, it's fun to watch, and we've seen a lot of it in practice, but we got to see, hopefully get it going in a game.
All right, Stephen Jones, thanks for the time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tommy and Steven. Let's take a look at the passer rating charts from NFL Next Gen Stats, starting with Bryce Young. He has had some trouble throwing the ball down the field or really even behind the line of scrimmage. Look at that passer rating, all in the red behind the line of scrimmage. If Dallas can control the middle of the field, that from line of scrimmage to the 10-yard spot, they'll have some success against the Panthers on the defensive side. Whereas Dak Prescott, we like looking at this chart because it's all green down there the left side of the field. Dak has had an incredible start to the regular season. Tops in the NFL in terms of completion percentage, yardage, and those 10 touchdowns to just 3 interceptions. Welcome back in to Cowboys Pregame Live. Isaiah, Barry, Nate, now joined by Nicole Hutchison. And Nicole had an opportunity to catch up with Jake Ferguson. We're going to hear about that in just a moment. But let's hear from Brian Schottenheimer first. His thoughts on what Jake Ferguson has done to help Dak Prescott in that passer rating this year.
I think because of the areas of the field that they work, they're extremely important. I think, you've seen Jake. Jake's a guy that we love his ability to run after catch. Like, I thought the screen was probably one of the best executed plays we had yesterday, the tight end screen. The timing of it between Dak and Fergie were great. We had Flournoy did a great job blocking the corner. You had Terrence Steele shooting. Nate Thomas was coming from the backside. There's a trust that's developed, but you can't just say the tight end position. I think it's who that guy is, what their relationship is with the quarterback, how much trust is there. It was fun for me getting on the plane. Yesterday we were watching the film, and Dak and I were giving Fergie a hard time because the first third down of the game down there in the red zone where we barely missed him, we just were challenging his speed. And he said, I was just peeking. I was looking quick. I was trying to. But he's a joy to coach, man. Dak loves him, trusts him. But really, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention how well Scooney and Brevin are playing as well. That room in general is a good, very, very talented room that we have a lot of confidence in.
Lots of talent in that tight end room. Credit to Coach Lunda Wells and that group. But, Barry, when you look at a tight end who's having the season like Jake Ferguson is, how much of a challenge is that for a defense?
It's an extreme challenge. When you got a guy like Ferguson who's able to stretch the defense, it's just another added bonus that the offense can throw at you and kind of throw your defense off. You have, George Pickens doing his thing. You got Tolbert and those guys as well. But then Ferguson, a guy that's too fast for the linebackers, too big for the secondary out there. He's just a mismatch nightmare. And he has kind of, met my expectations. The one thing I would like to see from him and Dak Prescott is to get that seam ball going. They've tried it a couple times in a couple games, but they haven't really got that connection. Once they get that thing rolling, it's sky's the limit for those two.
Yeah, you got to see the stats on the bottom there. 41 receptions in the league. That's not by position. He's number one in position. And you talk about he accounts for 24% of the Dallas Cowboys receptions. So this dude is taking care of business. He has met my expectations to what Barry said. Yeah, I like to see those seams get going. Dak's missed on some of those plays, but they will come, and Shotty will make sure that they find a way to connect.
It's something called a hang block, and the hang block is when the tight end and the tackle get together on the defensive end, then leak out late. That is is what he's been. His first few games, everybody like 5 yards a carry, but he was helping his tackles. Now you see the real boy taking it to the house.
Hey, I didn't get a chance to hop in on this little game y'all was playing on the whiteboard while I wish my iPad would work with me. But I put authoritative on the way that he's playing. I wish my iPad would work.
That's okay. It's all locked.
It's all good. It doesn't matter. But anyways, you guys hit it on the nail. I mean, Jake Ferguson has been a reliable target for Dak from everywhere on the field. You talk about that screenplay that Schottenheimer was mentioning, 26 yards to the house. I mean, he's been reliable since 2023, though, and that's the standard that he's expected since that season.
Play the best of my position better than it's ever done before, and that's something we talk about in the tight end room. Coach Linda Wells and Ken Dorsey, what we talk about, it's been done great at a high level here for a long time. You gotta replicate that or do better, and that's just what I try to do. Approach every day, and just try to get better at one thing every single day, and just keep stacking them.
You talked about Coach Linda Wells. What has he meant for you and your growth and your career?
He's huge. I think we've hit a different level of player coach, and being able to talk to him about the things we talk about, and just get to the deeper level of the game. I couldn't ask for anything else. And he was telling me this past offseason he wanted to go or he was potentially going to Chicago, and I had to pull out a bunch of stuff and just be like, nah, man, like. And then the final one was he just got a Harley motorcycle. I said, you can only ride that thing for 3 months out of the year. So.
When 2024 didn't technically go, as planned for you, right? Production kind of dips a little bit. You battle with injuries, the knee, concussion as well. What did that season kind of teach you about yourself? My standard, I was always taught, are you hurt or are you injured? So if I'm out there playing and I'm on the field and I'm suited up, I should be able to give you my all, and there shouldn't be any drop-off. So just a little bit of adversity, not going the way I wanted, didn't get in the end zone. But at the same time, you got to trust the process. You can't, stop doing what you were doing. You stay on the process. You keep doing the stuff for your body. You keep catching balls on the jugs. You keep, doing the little drills before practice, after practice. You can't get bored. You can't get complacent, and that's really what helped me focus. At what point did you start feeling like yourself again?
Ooh. Yeah. It would be bad if I said this past Green Bay where I scored.
It's fine.
No, yeah. There was definitely that feeling in the back of my head, and there was a weight on me. And then scoring that, I had a whole touchdown celebration planned, and I remember I scored, and I started to choke up, and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna cry. I've never cried on the football field in my life. And then I remember Dak came up to me. We exchanged some words, and I was just like, man, thank you.
Awesome job, Nicole, catching up with Jake Ferguson. He's been one of the hottest topics in all of the NFL. Those 41 receptions, on pace to be the highest reception total by a tight end in NFL history. As we wrap things up here on Pregame Live, it's time now for some bold predictions. I see. Okay, you've got the iPad open here, Nicole.
Fine.
Yeah. Is it working today?
It's unlocked now.
All right, let's try it now.
It's fine.
What's your bold prediction?
3 sacks for the Dallas defense, coming off a season high against the Jets. 5 sacks last week. Hey, they're gonna get pressure on Bryce Young.
3 sacks.
There you go. 3 sacks. Hello.
There it is.
The Dallas defense. They're going to get pressure today.
Is that bold after they had 5 last week?
Hey.
I don't know.
It's my bold.
Okay. Barry, what you got?
For me, let me go ahead and scribble something down here, but I got Mr. Buckle Up. Rico. Under 60 yards total. It's rushing, receiving, all of that. Under 60 yards total for Mr. Buckle Up, Rico.
Nate Diggity.
Run. 35 to 40 run totes for 200 yards.
Oh, hold that back up. Hold it back up.
Okay.
Yep, we got to get the close shot.
200 yards, baby.
Wow.
Juggernaut.
100.
I need some help here by my friend who's learning Spanish. How do you say 3 in Spanish?
Tres.
Huh?
Tres.
Okay, yeah. Javonte Williams going to have 3 touchdowns today against Carolina.
Oh, that's bold.
Yeah.
That's bold. I got a surprise for you guys. How about this? I got a little bit of horsepower myself, like Barry Church. I'm trying to channel my inner Barry Church. I think it's going to be 100 yards. 100 yards rushing for Javonte Williams.
Oh, my
Hope you had some fun with us. Cowboys Pregame Live. It's a noon kickoff. Cowboys and Panthers on Fox. Enjoy the game, everybody.